All right, class.
Yes.
All right, thank you all for actually showing up. I appreciate you, I really do. Now, we're on simple interest, which is on what page in my notebook? 9. So, page 9, you guys all updated your table of contents and did all that good stuff because that's what good students do. Simple interest. We're going to have interest is the dollar amount that we get for paid for lending money or paid for borrowing money. The amount of money that we deposit or borrow is called principal. Now, I'm going to do this as an analogy. Okay, let's pretend Stevie has $1,000. We got to pretend, okay? We're pretending Stevie has $1,000. Okay. So, Stevie is going to take his $1,000 and put it in the bank. That is Stevie's principal investment. That's the money that we start out with. That's the principal. Now, what the bank does, you know the bank don't have their own money. The bank actually has other people's money. So, Stevie's money that he put in the bank is going to be there, and then other people are going to go to the bank. I'm about ready there. 3. So, he's going to come in and he's going to say, hey, bank, I need to borrow $1,000. They're like, okay, but we're going to charge you interest too. So what's going to happen is he's going to pay back that money with interest later on, right? So that $1,000 he borrows, he's going to end up paying, in the end, probably $1,100. So he threw on an extra $100. So the interest would be the $100 that he had to pay extra to borrow that money. The principal was $1,000 he borrowed. Now, the money, the $1,100 that he put in, he gave back to the bank. What the bank does is they're going to take one of those extra $100. One of those dollars goes back to Steve. 99 of those dollars are to pay for the bank, their employees, their upkeep, and all that other stuff. So the bank's fees, they're collecting $99, but Stevie did nothing. He just left his money alone. Did he just earn interest? Yeah. He just made money for letting the money sit there. But if Stevie was smart, Stevie's going to go, dude, why did the bank get 99 of my dollars that I should have got? Stevie's going to say, hey, I'm going to take my $1,000 and I'm going to loan it to someone. And then you collect interest on that. So that money right there, that interest is going to be yours. Because you made that, right? You loaned it out and you got it back with interest. And so that would be an income. A lot of people do that, and end up, what are those called, like the payday loans? Yeah, the payday loans and stuff like that, the title loans. They do stuff like that. So they're basically setting up their own bank for that reason. The amount of interest depends on principal interest rate, which is given as a percent and varies from bank to bank. Length of time for which the money is deposited. Simple interest involves interest calculated only on the principal. Okay? So over time, we would compound that, which would actually add more interest and interest and interest over time. Calculate simple interest, which in my formula is I equals PRT. P is my principal. R is the rate, and you're going to write this because no one ever remembers this. This rate has to be written as a decimal. And you know what's actually quite funny about this? It's written right here, but no one ever reads this. I've been teaching this class long enough that every time I come around, I'm like, hey, did you read that? No. Okay, so in the notes, I'm making you guys write this down. My interest rate, my percent, has to be written as a decimal. Times time. Okay. Is that easy? Good. You deposit $2,000 in a savings account. Okay. what is that $2,000 going to be referred to as?
Principal.
That's my principal. Very good. That's my starting amount. That's my principal. In a savings account at Hometown Bank, which has a rate of 1.2%, which is my interest rate, find the interest at the end of the year. So the interest in my formula is I. So I'm looking for I equals, now my principal, what did we say principal was? $2,000 times rate. What am I going to write from my rate here? Point what? No. 0.012. Okay. 0.12. Because if you go 0.12, wouldn't that just be 12%? And that's going to be a big difference there. And ¿cuántos años tiene? How many years? 1 year, right? After the first year. So I'm going to put a 1 right here. Now, we're going to have a lot of people want to use their crappy CryPhone calculator instead of using NumWorks. But when we get into some of these other problems later on, the NumWorks calculator is still going to work better. So please, yeah, because I'm going to have people complaining, be like, oh, I got something else. But did you plug in the right calculator? No. Okay. So, use the NumWorks calculator for me, please. How are we doing? All right. Okay. Yes, you got it? 24. Very good. So my interest, 24 what? $. $24, right? Okay, so what does that mean? That means after 1 year of your money, of Stevie's money, just sitting there, right? Just sitting there in the bank, Stevie made how much money? $24. That's not bad, right? But the thing is, with your money, you have to leave it alone. You can't pull it out and put it back in and all that. No, you just need to leave it alone. That's what Stevie needs to make sure he does. Leave it alone. Next one. A student. Una estudiante took out a simple interest loan for $1,800 for 2 years at the rate of 8% to purchase a bicycle and a laptop. Find the interest on the loan. So again, I'm looking for I. My principal, what is the principal here? 1,800, right? So it's 1,800. My rate, 0.08. That's important. 0.08, because if you use 0.8, that's going to be a huge difference. Times what? Say it again. 2 years? So I'm going to times 2. Yes. Yep. You know, it's funny because I'm looking around, I'm seeing people just waiting for other people to do their math for them. Yeah, you could just plug it in. If you're using the NumWorks calculator, exactly like this. So this, even with the parentheses and everything, that's the reason why I write it out specifically like this. So if you're using NumWorks, it's going to work just like this. So we get A is going to be 288. I'm sorry, 288. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean for Melvin that took out this loan? You got to pay that plus, yeah, the 1,800, right? Plus the principal, or my 1,800. So that's what that means. So for taking out the loan, okay, because instead of going to the bank, you just went to the bank of Stevie, right? You went to the bank of Stevie, you're like, yo, Stevie, I need to borrow $1,800 for 2 years. He's all, okay, I'll charge you 8% interest. And so at the end of 2 years, you need to pay him how much? Ready? On top of your 1,800. So total, how much would you give to Steve? How much total do you give back to Steve? Okay, so sucks to you. You know there's no more on the computer, right? But it does. It is there. And yes, it is 288. So it's 288 in interest. But how much did you borrow in the first place? 1,800. So total, how much you give back to Stevie? 2,088. Very good. So that's what you're going to end up getting back in the end. And that's what we refer to as the future value. So if Melvin is still following, that would be a future value. So Stevie gave him the $1,800, charged him 8% interest, and so at the end, when he pays this back, he needs to pay a future value of, what was it, 2,088? Okay, so now we have a formula for future value which uses the variable A equals my principal P times parentheses 1 plus RT, okay? So, right there. I am. Am I? He laughed. He says I am.
That's cap.
Okay, so let's go through and do this. Says a loan of 1060 has been made at 6.5% for 3 months. Find the loan's future value. Okay, so my principal, I'm looking for the future value. So A, my principal is, come on now, 1060, right? 1060 parentheses. Now from my formula, it goes 1 plus, what's my rate? 0.06, so parentheses 0.065, close, open. Now, this is where a lot of people are going to screw this one up. If it's month, how many months in a year? To make a whole year, it'd be 1 over 12, right? So for every month, it's 1 over 12. If it was week, 1 over 52. And if it was day, 1 over 365. I know you guys are adding this to your notes because it's going to be important, especially later on. Now, what am I going to put in for time on my problem now? Say it again, loud and clear. Perfect, good job. It is 3 out of 12 because it's 3 months. So 3 out of 12, close, close. Now you can plug that into your numWorks as is, just as is, okay, with the parentheses and everything. Yeah, it automatically does it for you. You just have to start it with the parentheses, otherwise it tries to mess it up. Oh, maybe it's the 42 tabs you have open. I can. I thought I just did. I'm sorry, was that judgmental? Okay, you said I can't, but I just did. I just judged it a little bit, didn't I? I just judged. No, I'm at an 11 right now because I'm trying to get people where they gotta be to pass. You screwed up already because you forgot the plus.
Oh my.
Yes. Great. Just divide it by. All right, so my A, my future value is going to be 1077 225. Very good. Now, you're right. So, are we dealing with money? Said yes. We are dealing with money. So, what is my smallest unit in money? 1 cent, 1 penny, right? So that means money always has to be rounded to the hundred. That's going to be this one right here. So I look at this number here, which is a 5. So that does that round up or drop off? Up. So that makes this one be my new amount. My DARA amount is 1077.23. So for borrowing out 1060, okay, $1,060. And so when Melvin pays this back in 3 months, he's going to end up paying 1077.23. Okay, not bad, right? It's worth it at that percent, right? But most places are a lot higher percentage than that, especially like 3 month interest or a 3 month loan. And I'm going to leave off there. So make sure you guys all like, share, and subscribe. You hit that notification button, support my channel. We have about 25 minutes left of class. 8.1, 8.2 is due today because I extended 8.1 for you. And then if you're done with both of those, work on 8.3, please.